everyone, and welcome to Game On Reactions. And my goodness, what a game! England scraped through to the quarterfinals of Euro 2024. What is going on with England? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. That was a crazy game. Let's talk. This was a crazy game. Listen, pre-tournament, I don't think anyone could have argued so much with the lineup. No one could have argued with the squad. No one could have argued with the players that were, that made it to the team. We're talking about Menu, Wharton, first time players, who are playing for England in a major tournament, right? Those, Eze made into the squad. There was a lot of hype, there was a lot of excitement about the squad and the players. Okay, there was Rashford being left, there was Grealish being left, but I think, in the main, people would have looked at that and said, well, actually, they were not really in great form. Grealish was a little bit unlucky, but hey, we got a team that could go in and do the business. And then it just started to unravel a little bit. It can only be put down as I don't know what it is. Southgate has been stubborn. We expect a lot of managers, what they are sought to be stubborn, not just listening to, what everybody says. I mean, if you listen to the media, Saka should have started. Maybe he is listening to the media because Saka played a left back today at some point in the game. But, the media, wants all sorts of players to play, Foden has to play, and all of that. And, it's Southgate a genius, because he gets lucky, right? And, someone said, sometimes it's better to be lucky. And he has been lucky. But is he also a genius by refusing to play, Foden, as a 10? And maybe just realizing that, you don't have Rodri in that team, who can mop up, mistakes, missed passes here and there. I mean, his decisions has been very baffling. Right. And, this whole Declan Rice, playing with, Trent, next thing playing with Carragher, Connor, Gallagher, today playing with Menu. And, they always talk about partnerships, across the field. What's the partnership, the centre backs, partnerships in the middle, partnership up front. It must be very difficult to understand what to do in that midfield when they're chopping and changing, just doesn't seem to. It feels like he's trying to recreate something that has just not clicked. And I'm hoping that, the penny has dropped, and hopefully he will now stop the experimentation, right? Because Foden on the left does not work. I don't think anyone looking at all of England games can say that has worked. Has not worked at all. And, Foden becomes, a bit more involved in the game when it comes in the center. But then that means that you don't have anyone to play on that left-hand side. So you have to change the system. If you want to do that, if you want to play Foden and you want to play Bellingham, then maybe you play 2 10s, right? Instead of Foden being stuck out on the left because it does not work. For me, I wouldn't have Foden starting. I would have Bellingham starting. I would have Rice starting, and I have Menu starting. Menu can also go forward as well. You've seen the last couple of games that he's played. He's not just sitting at the back. He's taking the ball. He's making adventurous passes. He was pretty good in this game. I think he came out of this game, looking like $1,000,000. Kane, not so much. Bellingham, not so much. Even though they both scored the game, I'm not sure that Kane touched the ball more than 5 times in 70, 80 minutes. And you can see why he was left on the pitch, but I had in my notes that Bellingham needed to come off, as much as 78 minutes. And maybe if he came off, England wouldn't have scored the goal. We wouldn't be in the quarterfinals. But Southgate has got a problem. He really has got a problem. He's got to figure out whether he wants to have all his best players in the starting 11, or he wants to have an effective, productive team. Because I don't think you can have both. I don't think this tournament or this England team is capable of having all their best players in the same team and be productive. It's just not happening. And listen, tournament football, everyone has gotten the blueprint about England. There is not much he can change. Honestly, there's not much he can change. You're relying on individual brilliance, players and things like that. From a tactics perspective, any tactics that he tries to implement now in the middle of the tournament and they've not had time to, prepare for it or implement it in one way or the other, he will get absolutely hammered with the result. And that's just the truth. And I haven't seen anything even from the friendly games that England has played that suggests that there is another way that they can play this game. So that's probably why he's sticking to what he's sticking to. The lineup, the tactics, because this is probably what he has been practicing. This is what he's been doing for the last, couple of games leading up to the competition. But for me, I think you've got to have balance. You've got to have balance in the team. And I like what Tony did when he came up front. He missed that glaring chance. And as he was playing, I was thinking to myself, yeah, I see why, you're not playing Tony instead of Kane. Because as much as Kane was awful, and he has been awful, Tony just doesn't look like an international player. He doesn't does feel like he's assured, in a lot of. I mean, listen, he created the assist for the goal, and that was a great, but other than that, I just found it a little bit tentative, and yeah, I could see maybe that's why he's not playing because I thought that he could really be someone that could come into the game and make a huge difference. But listen, guys, let me know what you guys think. England has made it, to the next round. It's tournament football. Gareth Southgate hasn't become a bad manager overnight. I think he's a very decent manager. I think for tournament football, which is 6, 7 games, you don't need to be a rocket scientist as a manager. You just need to be able to win games, find a way to win, and keep progressing. And England found a way to win today. Wasn't pretty, but they found a way to win. And in tournament football, maybe that's all it is. After the Euros, we can dissect, we can analyze, we can call for his head. But I think right now, England, I would take a 1-0 win all the way to the finals, right? We're not conceding that many goals. We considered a goal today. We can break down that goal, who was at fault and all of that. But hey, they found a way to win. And finding a way to win is what's important in the tournament. You don't score points for style. So that's it. My reaction. England through to the next round. I believe they might be playing Switzerland or it might be Georgia or Spain. Who knows? But I'm sure someone's gonna put that in the comments. But let's see how this goes. It could be coming home. Could be.